All right, what are we going to talk about today?
What else is there to talk about other than Madonna?
Okay. Okay,
What are you guys laughing about?
Well, I want to know.
This is serious.
I think Madonna
is serious business.
Is serious business.
You guys are mocking me.
No, I love Madonna. I actually do.
Okay.
She's good. She's, I listened to a podcast that she did about Kabbalah.
Jay Shetty.
Yeah, the Jay Shetty episode. It was really good. And the first half is Madonna speaking. The second half is her Kabbalah teacher. So I like her. I like her disposition towards life.
Okay, you like her philosophy. Well, let's talk about Madonna. Okay, let's go way back to when I was in law school at the clubs. And Madonna had come out playing Everybody. I don't know if you remember that one.
Oh, I do.
We danced that one downtown at the Vogue. Do you remember the Vogue? The club Vogue?
I've been to the Vogue many, many, many times.
Yeah, well, I think I was there before you were.
Oh, you were probably a few years before me.
I'm a little older. But that's where I first saw Madonna. Okay. Now, forward fast.
Okay.
She became obviously iconic.
Yeah.
Was all through the 80s and the 90s. And then, the normal course for most pop stars is that's it. Very few bands, let alone people, continue to put out new stuff past like the age of 45.
Yeah, I would go with a crazy number like below 5%.
Okay, then I appreciate that. It's rare, right?
No, it's pretty rare.
It's rare.
It's rare for artists to last that long.
Okay. And Madonna is a hyphenate. She's very interesting. She started off as a dancer, she sings, and she writes. And then she taught herself, got lessons to play guitar. But she is definitely a visionary visually, like her dance and her visual, her all of her music videos and the way that she orchestrates her concerts. She's obviously a very creative person all the way through.
And she's a really good actress.
Well,
I would.
okay, you guys better stop mocking her, but...
I'm not, she is.
Sometimes.
Did you watch the movie Desperately Seeking Susan? I think that's the movie.
She played herself, but...
I thought she was excellent in that movie.
Okay. I do
being
love
honest.
Madonna.
There's a couple other movies that I can't remember the names of off the top of my head that I would say were better performances than that movie. But
Evita.
because she was playing herself.
Evita, she was really good at
Yeah,
Evita.
there you go. I mean, she did have some
Okay.
good stuff,
Yeah.
but I was teasing Karen a little bit because I knew she'd be sensitive.
Yes. So, just for frame of reference, in 1985, during the summer, as I was studying to take the bar exam, Madonna was in full bloom. I wanted to dye my hair platinum. I just had never dyed my hair, so I just didn't do it. But other than that, I came to Barbary in the evening as Madonna-esque as possible. I found her wonderful.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there is another female artist in history that has been as hated on as Madonna. And part of that is because of the world that we live in now, where social media is so prevalent and dominant. But
I mean, I would say Princess Di, but she wasn't a musician.
a creative.
Yeah.
So what has made her a target? Well, she has her own credo and she follows it. She is extremely successful. She was not so successful in her marriages, but looks like she's been a pretty successful parent, and she likes younger men. More power to her. People don't complain about all the reversals, which is so standard in our world. So, and she doesn't hold back on just letting herself be a free and powerful presence as much as she can be. Well, she has come out. I don't know how old she is right now. She's got to be.
She's in her 60s at least.
I don't know that she's quite 70. Maybe she is 70. And she just performed in Times Square on one of the billboards because she's getting ready to have her next album come out, Confessions 2, which I've been listening to all the songs, the 3 songs that are out there, like on constant rotation. And again, she is being mocked. People want to talk about that she's old, that she's had a facelift, that she doesn't move like she used to when she was 20. Freaking, she's almost 70 years old. But the consensus is that this is probably her most important work in 20 years. Okay, now, Mike, of the musicians that you know, including all the famous bands and collectives, so not just one, or the singles or collectives, how many people do you know that started out in their 20s and are putting out a new album that is now critically acclaimed, at least in the dance music sector where it comes, and her music video that goes along to it is fantastic? How many artists do you know that have been able to do that?
I mean, I can think of if you put it into their respective fields, as you did with her. I could probably, off the top of my head right now, I've probably got about under 10, but I bet I could think of a few more than that.
Okay, so in the percentages, the percentage of the industry, less than 1%.
Oh yeah, no, it's very little.
Very little.
I mean, I wasn't trying to say that like it was a big number at all.
So we're looking at somebody who is a very rare bird.
Yeah.
Who is...
No, she's an artist. She's an artist who I would say is a template for many successful artists right now.
Yeah.
She came at a time when women were extremely underrepresented in the entertainment industry, especially in music, and quickly dominated, stayed relevant for many years. I would say, like many long-term artists, she kind of stopped producing as much material, so the spaces in between took longer. She probably lost a little bit of her relevancy. But, I mean, I think any artist that's been around that long that can put out new music that can energize an audience that is 30 to 40 years younger than they are is, that's a really big achievement.
So the reason I want to talk about Madonna on a legal podcast is ageism and sexism, because they do go hand in hand. And it is different. It is different when the person aging isn't a female who's a leader in her industry. Now, Madonna, if you go and look at some of the comments about Madonna, they're horrifying. Old crone, go back, all this stuff, which is personal, is attacking the fact that she's aging. She's not just aging. People also make comments of like, well, she's not aging gracefully. But then
First of all, no one ages gracefully in the way that everyone's talking about it, unless they spend a lot of time having surgery done. And that's the thing. Even then, they don't look good, in my opinion.
Or they just age and don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But then they have to reconcile with the fact, like Jamie Lee Curtis, right, that the youthful beauty, like she's not chasing that anymore. She's come to terms with who she is, and she's fine with it. But she is kind of a different person on the outside. The funny thing about aging as a person who's aging more than you guys is that you don't feel any different on the inside.
No.
And so for Madonna, what I see is a person who doesn't feel any different on the inside at all. And so that's why I think she's still being able to do what she does. Because internally, now on the outside, it's a little bit more work, right, for her. She can't dance like she used to dance. She freaking had a hip replacement. I don't even know how she's dancing at all. She looks fantastic. She is completely toned. She obviously takes exceptional care of herself and views everything meticulously. So, as much as I want to just idolize Madonna from this whole podcast, I do want to take it to outside of that, which is, I always would say, we're so lucky in the legal profession where we don't have ageism, but I don't believe that that's true. So I already challenged Mo on this. You go give us the contra, go tell us your opinion
My opinion is that ageism is people's attitude, like the subterfuge to ageism is people's attitude about facing the inevitability of death and their attitude about it. And I think that Madonna has just a very healthy attitude about it, that she does not see her progression towards the inevitability of her own death as something like, oh, I must succumb to it and sort of follow the traditional approach of retire and slow my life down. What she is doing is seeking life. And that's an attitude, and I think it's a reflection of someone's spirituality. And I think that's really foreign to a lot of people, and they get intimidated by it. And so what they do is that they start to say, hey, that's not the way you think about aging. You think about aging like you got to retire, you're past your prime, and you got to stop. But I see this just in basic physical activity. Like I play basketball with some people who are in their 70s. And one of the things I asked them is like, how do you do it? Simple answer, I don't stop. I don't think about my age. So I think it's an attitude thing that like people get really biased towards.
Mike.
I agree with all of that. I think that I mean, it's just I remember when I think, I'm going to keep stumbling here, but personally, I think that the key is to just stay thinking young. Like, I don't think that I'm as old as I am. I have never thought that I was as old as I am. And I think that in the case of Madonna, to keep going back to it, she was a revolutionary in the entertainment industry. When she put out that book, Sex, she did something that at the time, no artist that I could think of had ever done.
Yeah.
Musically, she was constantly challenging things at that time. So
And thumbing her nose at the system.
Yes. And I think that type of personality is the type that gets to this age and it still tries to perform like she did when she was younger. Does it as hard as she can. Is it not what she could do when she was in her 20s? No, it's not for any of us. Mick Jagger's out there doing the same thing, and he had to go get heart surgery to be able to do it.
Yeah.
It's, you're old. Stuff's going to start breaking. That's the way it is.
That's right.
But she still goes out and does the best possible show that she can. There's so few artists that do that. And there's just as few male artists that do that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give you an example of ageism in the legal industry,
Okay.
and I'm going to talk about it. The Trial Lawyers Association. So, the Trial Lawyers Association had a long-standing executive director, and he retired. And when he retired, they brought in a new executive director before the current one, who was quite young, which was great. New energy, everything. Her focus was on bringing new members in and empowering the younger members of the organization so that, to carry the organization forward. Noble goals. In doing so, she disenfranchised all the senior members. She dismantled a lot of the systems that they used to be very involved in and replaced them with new members. So, for example, the CLE program that they had, I used to run it for many years with Claire Vellick, and we had these big committees, but there was kind of a formula because they wanted to keep it fairly diverse. And you also wanted to attract people to go to these seminars. And the formula was, well, you would have it chaired by a stalwart, often a senior member, always a senior, and then a newer person. So you had that diversity. You would try to get diversity of gender and race and of the speakers and even of the chairs. Well, that left. And so you would have just new members up there. And no offense, but why would a senior member want to go listen to a CLE put on by someone that doesn't know enough yet? Like, there's a learning process in the law. It does take experience there are some people that can do it really quick, really early. But in general, the more you practice, the more you learn, the more you can talk more broadly about, the experience and the understanding of everything. So by wiping out that system and disenfranchising the older members, people like me, who I wasn't even old back then, I was still like in my 50s, which I guess is old, we're just like, yeah, then just go do it. They changed leadership then, and they've tried to, get some of that back. But there's so much wealth from being able to be truly diverse. And one of those diversities includes age. And so, of course, all roads are going to lead back to Madonna. I watched her Confessions video, which has come out, her little introductory movie. What's amazing about it is the diversity is so beautiful in it. It's so almost non-intentional. It just looks like it's so organic. And these people are all dancing there, ranging from everyone that's older to younger, to any color, to any persuasion of anything. It's just the beauty of it. And we are not in that place in our society. We don't embrace the diversity. We don't see the beauty in it as much. We're very polarized. And the age thing is an issue. It is. So you guys haven't got to that point yet. And you're men.
No.
So you're not going to experience what someone like me is going to experience.
Damn me.
You guys should be damned.
Damn me, I'm man. I am man, damn me.
Shelley and I have had conversations. Shelley and I had conversations where she felt that as her physical beauty was, aging, that she wasn't going to be taken as seriously by juries anymore. And I told her, well, I don't think that's true because we're, we don't, Pollyanna. It's not as ageist in our field. People are going to respect us because we're wiser and, but there's all kinds of there's a lot of stuff there that, there's a lot of subliminal stuff involved.
Yeah.
I definitely say, like when I had younger attorneys, when I was on the jury, I was a little, I didn't think, I automatically kind of went to, they're not going to be as good as they should be, which is just the same. It's ageism towards the young as opposed to ageism towards the old.
You know what, Mike? That's what I used to think was that, and I did for like all through my 40s and 50s was like, man, I am so above what it was like when I was in my 20s and 30s because I was spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to get more gravitas. Because, when you look young, people do not take you seriously or don't think that you have enough expertise.
When you're entering a professional field, you want to be respected too.
Yeah.
And, automatically like I said, I didn't stick to that when I was listening to those attorneys, but my initial reaction, they're young. He said he was new. Well, he must not know what he's doing. I think that's pretty easy for people to do that.
Hey, let's go back to a scenario where you were hit on your skateboard.
Oh, yeah.
And you got 4 attorneys to choose from. You got a 29-year-old, fresh, ready to help you, young male. You've got a 30-year-old, really kind and sweet and modern and really in touch female. You have a 59-year-old aggressive male, and you have a 70-year-old kind of kind, grandmotherly, but also known to be aggressive female. Which one do you want?
57-year-old Mike would go for the older one. I don't know, like 20-year-old Mike hated attorneys so much. I have no idea. He probably would have gone for the 29-year-old male because he would have felt closer to that.
Mm-hmm. What about you? What do you think?
About which part? You've said a lot of things.
Well, whatever you want. It better be controversial because we can't agree on everything.
No, I think part of the disconnect is about this whole idea of like, first thing you talk about the Trial Lawyers Association and the concerns about a younger generation coming in and then displacing the older generation. And I think that like part of what's sort of missing.
I'm saying quickly. I'm not saying like there was a transition over. You know, well, this is where we're going to be moving. I'm just saying like it was like very quickly.
But like that organization is very personality driven, and like people like to, like organizations across board, they want to like hold on to the organization. They gain so much identity from the organization, and so when they feel that slipping away, they don't like it. But the ones that are getting it are getting a rush, like, oh, I am now the organization. That's true, like in political institutions. You see it all the time. You have like from like a swing, like, you know, the Bernie Sanders folks and the Hillary Clinton stuff. So that's like, there's an aspect to that I think is like missing. It's not about ageism. It's about saying that I am the master of my own domain and I am going to self-determine. And I don't need you to tell me how to determine myself. And then I think then you're talking about...
I don't even know what you just said.
Well,
do you know what he said?
You know what I'm talking about,
No, he
Mike.
didn't, because his eyes just crossed.
Just keep going.
Well, no.
What did you just say?
What I'm talking about is that, to be clear, older persons want to have control.
What's an older person?
An older person is someone older than somebody by age who is now stepping into a situation.
And by definition, what is an older person?
Don't engage with her, Mo.
I will.
What's an older person in this context?
Baby boomers.
Okay, thank you for hating on the boomers.
Okay, baby boomers. And look at them just knowing exactly what the political fate of this country should be. Holding on to power, congressional seats, Senate seats, all of that, and saying, because we know what's best. But guess what? 50 years from now, you're not going to be
What
here.
are you? Are you a millennial?
50 years.
What are you?
30 years from now, they're not going to be here. 20 years from now, they're not.
20 years. I'd go 20.
Okay. Wait.
What are you?
I'm a millennial.
What are you?
Generation X.
Oh my God, we have 3 different
We do.
ones in here.
We have 3 in a row.
All right, millennial,
Okay,
go.
so then they say, let us tell you that like the policies that we have relied on and benefited from for decades, we need them to stay because we want to keep benefiting. Where right now there is a generation of younger people who say, no, I want to take this country in a completely different direction.
I don't know how you made this into politics. How did you make...
Because it is politics. You're talking about a trial organization.
Go to the trial organization. Stop talking about Bernie Sanders.
The trial organization is about power. Do you understand? It's about power.
Oh, she does. We've discussed this before.
Yeah, we've discussed it. It's about power and how it divides.
I know you.
How it is organized.
He adopts it and then he thinks he created it.
How it is organized vertically and how it is organized horizontally.
Right, and the millennials belong there. The X's are below that, and the boomers are top. That's the natural order of things.
Let me tell you how to practice law. Let me tell you how to do things. Fantastic. You want to be a sage. You want to be an institutionalist. Be available to support. Be a elder statesperson, and somebody can come to you and say, hey, I need some guidance. How do I do these cases? How did you do these cases? Because I got some fresh ideas, and I'm going to do things completely differently.
Okay, this is personal now because, you know, I supervise him, and he is definitely feeling his oats, and he's like, well, I want to do it this way. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not going to work.
Because the old ways are just the old ways.
He's like, well, I want to do opening. I'm like, how are you going to do it? He tells me, I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. I'm going to do the opening.
Yeah.
This is what you're hearing now,
okay,
Mike.
she says she wants controversy, and I'm giving her what she wants. But here's the issue.
The reality
with the persons who are.
Wait, this is our underlying dynamic here. This is a personal thing.
But here's the issue with not being ageist, but persons who are of a date of birth that are prior to mine. Oh my God. Okay, here's the issue. As soon as you come up and you start to you start to assert yourself, they go, no, I can't. I will not let go. It's mine.
No,
it's mine.
No, this is what we say.
It's mine.
No, this is what we say. This is what we say.
Go on, Mike. It's true, man.
I say, this is what I say. I said, Mo, you don't know what you're talking about. I'll take over it. Go back and here, read this book.
Read what book?
Okay, Mike, it's your turn. Go Gen X. How do these topics devolve?
Yeah.
Well, you said this is it. That's just, I think.
Well, no. The thing is that that's nothing new. That's the way it's always been. It's always the old trying to hold on to what they had, and the young trying to say they've got better ideas. That's time, baby.
That's time, baby. It's not ageism. It's time, baby.
Well, it is ageism too. The problem is it goes both ways.
Yes.
I mean, there's plenty of times when you're talking about just that. Take the political issues. I think that there should be there's an age that you have to be able to vote. I think there should be an age where you can't vote anymore.
Well, certainly, I think that you shouldn't be running the country when you're.
That's my
80
point.
years
Like
old.
when you're 20 years from dying, you have no responsibilities to what happens after you're gone.
If you're getting your Social Security, you got your Medicare. I mean, come on.
You're only going to care about those 20 years. You don't care about what happens 30, 50, 100 years after that.
Yeah.
So all the issues that people talk about right now with climate change and economics and so on and so forth, Donald Trump doesn't care about that. People my parents' age, most of them don't care about that because most of them don't watch the news anymore.
And why? Let's set aside Trump. Let's set aside all that.
No,
but people who are like in those 20 years, the twilight of their lives, what are they doing? They're trying to be remembered forever. They're trying to make sure that they're part of some great legacy.
They're trying to be comfortable. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And it's an ageist view to say this.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's great.
Oh my
Okay, Boomer.
Okay, Boomer. Okay, bring it, Boomer.
Oh,
boom, 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 boom,
the
boom.
weight of the Boomer world is upon my shoulders.
Boom, boom, boom.
Okay, first of all, my whole, other than practicing law to help people, my whole focus is on protecting the future of my kids and the grandkids and the kids before them. That's my whole focus. That's the truth. So.
But would you sacrifice other people's over them?
Yeah, that sounds really feudalistic. Mike.
No, I'm not
saying it's
trying to judge that. I'm just
not
asking.
saying it's right. I am not a politician.
Yeah,
so
no.
those are the people that I'm responsible for, my personal, and also, of course, the law firm. So, for example, I think that I'm not exactly the typical because I felt 3 years ago when we started with Denny, we got Denny, we started getting the office under control, and my big pressing need now, my first need was I can't keep doing this and doing what I do in work. Being the managing director of this law firm and actually managing it and doing it and hiring and firing and in the weeds before we got director of operations, plus doing my job was killing me. Yeah. So once we got that, and we got Mo to help me out. Right?
That's right.
I'm not going to look at these.
That's right. Boom, 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 boom.
Once I got that somewhat under control, not all the way under the control, my very next initiative was sustainability. That was from me. That was my request. That has been my request. We've been exercising that for the past year and a half. Yeah. All these changes is all because I wanted sustainability. For everyone here and for the people that we can potentially serve. I feel like it's super important when you have a firm that's like this, it's a precious commodity law firm, because we are not owned by corporations, we are not owned by the government, we are for the people, and we do things even though we do make money, we are altruistic.
You win cases that most other firms wouldn't take.
Absolutely. I mean, even when we try cases, people are like, that was a really hard case. And we're like,
yes, it was.
Give me an easy one. I would like to try that one. So that's me being defensive. But it's also me saying that there are a lot of boomers that give boomers a bad name. I mean, they're in the White House right now, right? But there are also people that aren't like that. And so just like any other category that we put in, this all roads are coming back to this ageism.
Yeah.
You can start talking about. Did you see how what's that called? Polarized we got when we started going the X and the boomer and the and then we started focusing on that label and we became very polarized quickly, and that's what happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, that does.
So I think the lesson.
Because you had a good point. I mean, the whole hippie movement happened during the boomer era, and that's a lot of that is supporting the issues that I talked about there.
Climate change.
You know, that's all of those. I would say people from that era, you know, probably the majority are in support of those issues. But there's a loud opposition to that. Yeah. You know, and they happen to be in political power right now. So,
you know, it was really interesting. I went to, I've gone to both, not, I didn't march, but I went to Seattle Center for both of the No More Kings. Mm-hmm. It seemed to me like it was primarily boomers that were marching, just FYI. So the point of this whole thing, other than my adulation of Madonna, is just to address something that we don't really talk about, which is ageism, which is very prevalent. People get polarized and they get into their little spheres. We don't really talk about it hardly ever. Even in an arena like the practice of law, there's ageism. I
think people don't like to admit it too.
Yeah.
I mean, just like I said,
ways,
you know,
like you said.
Old people don't want to admit that they think the young people are stupid. Young people want to admit that old people are stupid. You know, I mean, it's been like that forever.
Yeah.
But I think I want to close it out by saying that if you're talking about the law firm and we work together, at the end of the day, there are like a lot of decisions we make all day. We're making decisions all the time. And there are decisions we don't agree on. But I do this not because of age, but because of experience and just pure respect. In my mind, I go, I will not like that. Your decision goes, and I will like defend it, and I will say it's a collective decision, and like that. I think a lot of young people don't understand. It's not really about age, but it's about a sense of respect for someone who has done more, seen more, experienced more, and you just have to defer. And I think that like that's a different thing.
I think that's respect for the power dynamic and wherever you are.
Yeah, wherever you are.
But he has gotten a lot more argumentative the longer he's been working here.
Okay. Well, that's because you've taught him to be. You shouldn't create an attack dog and then be mad when he tries to bite you.
I love that. That's so good.
Thank you, Mike.
We need to end with that.
Yes, we do need to end with that.
Okay.